It was my 30th birthday, and my husband Ethan had gone all out to help me recover from the trauma of my accident. He and his bandmates had thrown a private concert just for me, playing all the songs that had been the soundtrack to our love story. His voice wasn't perfect, but the emotion behind it was enough to bring tears to my eyes. I was overwhelmed with gratitude, and in the midst of the celebration, I drank a little too much. I don't remember much about how I got home, but I do remember slipping in the bathtub. It wasn't a bad fall, just a bump on the back of my head from hitting the edge of the tub. But something extraordinary happened. My vision returned. After months of darkness, I could see again. Overjoyed, I wanted to share the news with Ethan immediately. But as I was about to leave the bathroom, I heard voices outside. It was our live-in nanny, Claire. "Ethan, tell me the truth. Do you still have feelings for that blind woman?" Claire's voice was sharp, accusing. "You said tonight's concert was just for show, but you sang with so much emotion. And your friends calling her Mrs. Thompson like I don't even exist." My heart stopped. I stood frozen, trying to process what I just heard. The pieces slowly came together. Ethan had been cheating on me with Claire, the woman who had been taking care of me since the accident. I had never felt such pain, not even when the doctors told me I might never see again. Memories of Ethan's kindness, his unwavering support after the accident, and the day he proposed to me in the hospital flooded my mind. I sank to the floor, crying silently but desperately. I couldn't believe it. I had to see for myself. I steadied my emotions, pretending to still be drunk, and stumbled out of the bathroom. What I saw next shattered my world. In the living room, Ethan and Claire were locked in a passionate kiss. The lights were bright, and they were completely absorbed in each other, as if I didn't exist. My stomach churned as I realized something even more horrifying. Claire was Ethan's cousin. They were related by blood. How could they do this? I gagged, the sound loud enough to catch their attention. They turned, and Ethan immediately pushed Claire away. "Emma," Ethan called, stepping toward me, but Claire grabbed his arm. She pointed to her eyes and mouthed, "Relax. She's blind." Then, as if to spite me, she pulled Ethan's face to hers and kissed him deeply, right in front of me. I clenched the doorframe, forcing myself to stay calm. I couldn't let them know I could see. I needed to find out what else they'd been hiding from me. Ethan eventually broke free and approached me. I pretended to stumble, falling into his arms. "What was that noise?" I asked, feigning confusion. Claire, who had been thrown against the wall, glared at Ethan but quickly composed herself. "Emma, it's me, Claire. I was worried about you and tripped in the hallway." Her quick thinking impressed me, but I wasn't fooled. I let Ethan guide me to bed, hoping they'd at least be cautious for the rest of the night. But I was wrong. Just half an hour later, Claire, who had been pretending to help me with my medication, started flirting with Ethan right in front of me. She was subtle, but I could see her hands roaming over his body. Then, she began unbuttoning his shirt. I lay in bed, forcing myself to stay still. Ethan, clearly aroused, quickly excused himself. "Emma, you're drunk. Take your medication and get some rest. I have some work to finish up." He pulled Claire out of the room, but not before she grabbed her phone and typed something. "Don't you think it's more exciting to do it in front of her? She's blind and drunk. It's the perfect opportunity." Ethan hesitated, then followed her to the desk. She sat on his lap, facing the computer, and began typing. I watched in horror as she documented their affair in real time, turning their betrayal into words on a screen. That night was the darkest of my life. The pain of the accident paled in comparison to the betrayal I'd witnessed. I lay awake until morning, my mind racing with anger, sorrow, and eventually, a cold, calculating resolve. The next day, after Ethan left for work, I sent Claire on an errand. I needed time to investigate. What I found was even more disturbing. Our home, which I had paid for, had been decorated entirely in Claire's style. The walls were covered in her photos, and even our wedding pictures had been replaced with images of her and Ethan. I realized then that this betrayal had been planned for years. Ethan had been lying to me from the start, using my blindness to manipulate me. I found a bottle of medication on the nightstand, hydroxychloroquine, a drug used to treat malaria, not my condition. It had side effects that could damage my eyes, even cause blindness.